Hi guys, it's Coco. Sorry, my hair is loose today because my head hurts a bit, so I'm just trying to relax. So I'm just gonna be taking this slow. This is still a more educational video, I guess. So it's about the different types of marine worms and how they're the same and how they're different. So we're gonna be looking at 3 categories, or technically 2, because it's annelids and then platyhelminthes. But the thing is, they are different types. So annelids are segmented worms, and they're more round, whereas platyhelminthes are flat. But the reason I say there's kind of 3 categories is because within the platyhelminthes, there are some minor differences between the types of worms. So I'm also going to be naming them, but I'm only going to do that when there is a difference between the platyhelminthe and the other unsegmented worms. Okay, so their body plan for the platyhelminthes consists out of, this is the same throughout. They are all bilateral, which means if you split them down the middle vertically, you'll have 2 exact copies. This also means that they have cephalization, which means a definite head with sensory organs. And this also means that they are triploblastic, which means they have 3 skin layers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that means they have the ectoderm, the mesoderm, and the endoderm. And where platyhelminthes differs from annelids is they do not have a cilium, whereas annelids do have a cilium. And some unsegmented worms will also have a cilium. Okay, locomotion. So platyhelminthes and other unsegmented worms both use cilia and gland cells. So it's basically like the tiny little hairs that they used to move around. And they both have so platyhelminthes has wave-like folds, and other unsegmented worms will either have fins and introvert, which is basically like a trunk that they either use to feed or sometimes use an anchor and then catapult themselves, or they'll wriggle almost snake-like. Where annelids have this little outgrowths called setae and parapodia, and they'll also have segmentational contractions. So basically this part will stretch out and then this one will clump together, and then like that the whole time. So yeah, I'll be right back. I'm just quickly gonna do gaseous exchange and nutrition so that we can quickly talk about them. I'll be right back. Okay, so gaseous exchange. For the platyhelminthes, aka the unsegmented worms, they both use diffusion, whereas annelids will use respiratory pigments and they also have gills. So, sorry, I just quickly had to find that in my information because I forgot to write it down, because I am clearly not the smartest person, but I'm striving to get 80%, or at least 70. At least 70, because last year my marks were constantly in the 60s, so now I'm going to try and reach a bit higher for 70. Okay, so in nutrition, the unsegmented worms will have a pharynx, although some of them will have a through gut, as well as the annelids, they will also have a through gut. So a pharynx basically means there's only one opening. So food will come in, be digested, and then come back out. Whereas a through gut will have, that's kind of what we have. So food starts at the mouth and ends at the anus. It's not that funny, please grow up. But the problem with the pharynx is that you kind of have to wait before every meal, because first everything needs to be digested and egested before you can get more food. So that's kind of sad. Whereas the through gut, you can keep on eating the whole time. Oh, please don't be copyrighted, I beg. If you see paint on my hand, it's because it was actually Tepex, because I wrote in the wrong color. But yeah, and then the cool thing about platyhelminthes I also wasted Tippix on my pants. That's great. That's just great. But anyways, platyhelminthes have like a paralyzing slime or like mucus that gets excreted by them, which basically paralyzes their prey so that it can be ingested. And some of them will also be able to eat hydroids, like jelly, almost like a jellyfish, I guess, and then ingest the stinging cells, and then be able to use those stinging cells to kill prey or like protect themselves. So that, you guys know that little, I can't remember its name now, but like it's this little electric blue and black, like it's super cute, but like sometimes people want to like touch it and stuff. It's like super small, but it's a 50-50 chance you're gonna die, because it's a 50% chance that it has not ingested stinging cells and used it, but then the other 50% is it has, and it's now gonna basically very much harm you. And then they all have peristalsis, which just basically means the contraction of the throat, so that it can like push the food through the body. And annelids have digestive juices to help break down their meals, and they also have compartments to like send the food and digestive stuff too. So yeah, okay, so I'm just quickly gonna do reproduction and excretion, and I'll be right back. Okay, you know what, I'll finish writing all of this later, but I like kind of want to get this video done so that I can just focus. But so all unsegmented worms are either asexual or sexual. So yeah, and then all other worms, annelids included, are hermaphroditic, which basically mean it has both genitals or like both sex organs. So yeah, and then unsegmented worms will make the larva form planula, where annelids will make a trochophore larvae form, and then unsegmented worms will mostly have internal fertilizations, whereas annelids will have either internal or external. That's the way I understood it, but like they'll have either, and then they like produce this kind of like smell type thing into the water that encourages other annelids to also come, and then it's called synchronized spawning, which basically just means like everybody makes babies or like gives birth, and a bunch of them do die when they reproduce, because basically the babies are like stuck in the segments, and then they'll like grow, and then it will just like burst, usually killing the parent. But some of them are able to fix themselves. Okay, excretion. So unsegmented worms are basically the same. They have flame cells, which is basically like flame cells. Yeah, you can go search that up. I am not a professional, I'm just studying. We don't need to know the ins and outs of everything. Folded tubules, which will like transport the waste products to pores that lead to outside the body. Okay, where annelids have a capillary, which has coelomic fluid in, which basically just like transports everything to a nephridia, and then this is in every segment, because each segment is basically a replica of the previous. And then there is ciliated coiled tubes that lead to a nephriospore, I don't know if I spelled it correctly, but which leads to outside excreted. So yeah, okay, I hope this guys help if you guys are like interested in marine sciences or whatever. And if you guys don't want any more of this, me explaining my homework to you, just say so, and I won't. But like, I like explaining to you guys because I kind of feel like it helps me understand more well when I'm explaining it to you. But like, if you guys don't like it, I won't do it anymore. I'll just like keep the videos to myself or whatever. So it's entirely up to you. I think I might do another makeup video tonight. I don't know, because like the look I have now, I don't know if you guys can see, but like it's very more plain. Like it's also a more natural neutral shades that like slightly goes darker, but it's not that diff. And like no glitter this time, with very natural glowy skin. But I tried, because usually I like do a lot of highlighter and blush, but I'm like, I'm gonna try and refrain. And then my lipstick is actually like a darkish pink, but it doesn't seem to really show up, or at least I don't see it showing up. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna post a how to later this evening, at least when it's evening here. I don't know about people in different time zones, but yeah, so I'll talk to you guys later. This has been Coco. Bye guys.